We'll go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. And they have now been, as of a few weeks ago, in business for 30 years. So they've figured out a few things, you could say. And they know a lot when it comes to FHA, VA, or conventional loans. Give them a call if you think about buying a new house and make an appointment, I should say, and arrange for a pre-approval letter. So you are armed with the weapon that is necessary in this competitive housing market. You can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, Trenton, some good stuff to talk about here. We have a 4-story, 44-unit apartment building that is planned for a vacant lot at 524 Park Avenue. For a little perspective, that is between Dewey and Jackson, and that would be just a little bit west of Interstate 480. Real nice looking. From the renderings, it looks kind of like a charcoal gray color. Like I said, 4 stories. It'll have parking across the street. What's interesting about this, though, in my opinion, is that this is close to a bunch of other very successful multifamily projects. It is really close to Midtown Crossing, practically across the street from Spaces. I think that was the one where they referred to it as Geeky Cool when it was being built several years ago.
Right on the 680?
Yeah,
or
480 rather.
480, excuse me.
And not terribly far from Triangle Apartments. So anyway, as we see some continued growth in that Med Center area with that anticipated 8,700 job increase over the next several years, I suspect that whole area radiating from the Med Center and certainly going to and perhaps encompassing downtown, you're going to see more and more of those types of infill projects.
Yeah, and it can't be said enough, Jeff, where you're seeing ground up and some modeling of older buildings. But what's exciting about it is not only are people coming back to the urban core, but we're also seeing vertical. We're seeing density. And the reason why density is so important is, number one, we're that much closer to full-service grocery stores downtown. We have more options midtown, and it takes less of a burden on westward expansion. Not that westward expansion is bad all around, but when we have all those services and they're trying to increase bus rapid transit, they're trying to increase other modes of transportation, it really helps the city stay populated and stay centrally located.
Well, yeah, it's a lot more cost effective to put quite a few people on an acre of land in the midtown, downtown area than it is to knock over cornfields and build new sewers. Now, don't get me wrong. In the commercial real estate industry, we thoroughly enjoy knocking over cornfields, and I look forward to the next cornfield we get to knock over. But that said, it is a really good use of resources, environmental resources, tax dollars, and everything else to put people in parts of the city that already have the sewers and already have great transportation. And let's face it, the transportation in urban Omaha is way better than it is out west where you and I live.
Absolutely. And we're not talking about 50-story buildings like you see in these overcrowded Manhattan areas and other cities where it's almost unbearable compared to what we're used to here. We're still a very walkable, very open, spacious environment.
Although I would say a lot of Grow Omaha listeners wouldn't mind a 50-story building being constructed in downtown Omaha sometime soon, and we hope.
That'll give us plenty to talk about.
Yeah, the last one was 44 stories, and that was completed in about 2002 or 2003. As we always like to say, our two big pieces of red meat for Grow Omaha listeners are skyscrapers and new restaurants, but unfortunately skyscrapers only happen once every couple of few decades around here. Hey, speaking of the urban core, I want to talk about a pretty cool project that is coming down the pike in downtown. It's called Market Square at Capitol Place. And this is going to open on the ground floor of a 6-story mixed-use building on the southeast corner of 10th and Capitol downtown. That building is called Capitol Place. It is considered part of the Capitol District. And Market Square in this space will have room for about 9 or 10 food or service vendors. So kind of that public market feel. There'll be small spaces. There'll be a big open area, presumably for those businesses that sell food. People would sit there. And this is going to be located, for a little bit of perspective, if you can picture where the Addie's Sports Bar is downtown. So directly southeast of the Marriott, directly northeast of the Hilton Garden Inn. It would be in that building right there. But I think things like that will continue to add a lot more flavor to the downtown area.
No question about it. And since you work so hard in promoting at the time, the Quest Center Arena and Convention Center, the one thing we always talked about is, when are we going to see options for convention goers, for arena goers, to be able to shop, not just eat, but to shop and be in that whole area. This is adding to those options. And so there'll be food places there, but also retail and convenience items and stuff like that. So kudos to Rodrigo Lopez and his wife for putting that option in there.
Well, now let's go 25 miles north of downtown, and that will bring us to Blair, Nebraska. Real Estate Business Online reported just recently that the $85 million distribution center for Dollar General, which is going to be located on the south side of Blair, is getting underway. This is being built by a company called Clayco, and this thing is going to be 800,000 square feet. Now, it's presumably all one level. So in terms of footprint, this would be even bigger than the 2.4 million square foot Amazon building, because that's 3 or 4 levels. This is just going to be one level. So the building footprint will actually be bigger than the big Amazon building in Southwest Omaha. This Dollar General facility will be on 80 acres. Like I said, the south side of Blair. 180,000 square feet of the building will actually be cold storage.
That's the part I don't understand. What do you get? They must have frozen foods,
refrigerated
stuff like that.
things.
Yeah, I guess frozen foods and things like that.
I think I haven't been in a Dollar General terribly often, but if I remember correctly, I think there are things in coolers or freezers.
There must be
180,000 square feet worth.
But that's like probably 18 acres under roof.
Yeah, 80 acres of land, and then 800,000 square feet divided by 43,000, and that's a lot of acreage. That's a lot of acreage under roof. So 400 new jobs will be created in that building, opening plan for 2022.
And they're building these around the country, and Clayco is a big developer, and despite what the name says, I believe it's being built out of steel and precast. Not clay.
No fired clay.
No.
Not a pottery building.
You don't have a kiln big enough.
And that is your development news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. EagleMortgageCompany.com. They know mortgages. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.